Hey y'all, and good morning. Well, we are out today bright and early, and we're going to be doing some more planting in our woodline area. So this is one of the areas that I really wanted to work on this year and develop. And so this is just such a great time of year to be planting things out here because the temperatures are a little bit cooler, but we're still getting those warm days. So I was at my local garden center the other day, and I saw that they had their white Cleomi on sale. So this is not a Proven Winners one, I don't think, because it's in a black container. They do sell Proven Winners here, but I don't know if it's Proven Winners or not. But it did say white Cleomi. It was like $7.99 with like 50% off, and they had really just pretty much cut it down to the bottom, so I'll show you what it looks like. But I thought around this woodline area would look really pretty because it takes sun to part sun, but this area pretty much gets sun all day long. But let me show you where I'm going to be planting it at. Okay, so we're back at our woodline area on the right side of our house, and here is where we just planted our camellia there. So we want to continue our planting around here, and I thought the Cleomi would look really pretty right back in here. So we've got the glossy green leaves of this gardenia. This is the Southern Living one, and this one's the one that kind of grows more like grows more tall than wide. So I think these Cleomi are going to look really good behind that as like a white backdrop with the flowers. But I wanted to show you guys the sun. So the sun rises over here in the east, so this area gets full sun in the morning, and then the sun sets over here in the west. So I think this area is going to get plenty enough sun for these Cleomi, and if we see that they're struggling, we can always dig them up. Now, I don't know if these are the sterile variety because there was no tags or anything in here. Cleomi typically have lots of seeds, and so they will seed themselves everywhere. They're pretty easy to dig up though if you get them when they're small. But with this area being so natural, I really don't mind if they seed around a little bit. And if they get a little bit too wild, then we can always just pull them up. Also, the older varieties have thorns, and sometimes the new growth doesn't have thorns, but I'm even looking here on this older growth. I'm not seeing any thorns yet, so we'll just have to keep an eye on that. They are deer resistant, which is super good for this area because our deer, they have a path right through here, and they walk all the way around through here to those woods. So we're like this alleyway for deer. So I'm trying to plant things in here that will be deer resistant. So I think we're just going to go ahead and dig a couple of holes and get these planted right here behind these gardenias. I wish they would have had 3 because I think that would have been perfect here. I might switch these 2 around a little bit, but I kind of want to be able to see one of these through the middle, and then, you know, this one I'll be able to see from this side here. But they're going to be taller, so we'll see them anyway once they get to their full height. Okay, so we got our Cleomi all planted, and I think it looks very pretty. Let me show you guys from the other side. So this is the view we'll have from the house, and they'll get tall behind these gardenias. So that'll be really pretty. And they're really easy to prune too, because we actually have one of our Cleomi in the back that fell down during the hurricane. And it broke a lot of limbs, and so I was able to trim it up and it just bounced back. This is how it will look from the street. So I love the contrast of the false holly, and then you have the gardenias, and then the Cleomi, all different shades of green and white there. It's going to be very pretty. And then in the distance, one day, where that little pink ribbon is, we'll be able to see our camellia, because it'll be about 8 foot tall with white blossoms in the fall. Okay, so before we end today, I was over here looking at my gardenia and I noticed some scale. So if I can get this to zoom in for you guys. Okay, so do you see those little bubbles on there? That is scale. We also had this on our patio peach. Oop, and just see how that easily fell off, because the scale get on your plants and they just pretty much suck the sap out of them. So I'm going to go ahead and treat this with an insecticidal soap, and I'll make sure to treat this every couple of days and keep an eye on this, because we definitely don't want to lose our little gardenias because they are so beautiful right here. Okay, so I'm going to be using the Bonide insecticidal soap. It does say it treats scale, so let's go ahead and get this sprayed really good. Okay, so we got it all sprayed down with the insecticidal soap. I checked this one really good and I didn't see anything, but I'll definitely keep an eye on it. One of the things that caught my attention with this one is it had a couple of branches, and I went to cut them off because they were brown, and then that's when I noticed them. And then look how the leaf appearance. It's kind of like green with some yellow. And then I was noticing some of the leaves were falling off where the other one wasn't. So those were little indicators to me, so I started looking a little deeper, and that's what's going on. We actually had this affect some of our shrubs in Virginia, and unfortunately we lost a lot of them because I didn't realize what it was until it was too late. So hopefully we can get on top of that and save this little gardenia. Okay, so I have a confession and I have one more project to do. So I was a bad bulb mom, and last year when I planted all the pretty daffodils in my little pots on the porch and in the back, so I took them all out when I was getting ready to plant my summer annuals, and I kind of let the bulbs just lay out on the ground, and then I put them in this pot. So anyway, they've been sitting in that pot since the spring. I don't remember what month I put them in there. They've been sitting on the porch. So I'm going to dump them out and see if we have any viable bulbs and get these also planted. I kind of want to have them in groupings of like 5, maybe like planted around the woodline area. I think that would be really pretty, and it just kind of like sprinkles the woods with color when spring starts. So let's see what we got. Okay, so here are my bad mom bulbs. So I did let them dry before I put them in this pot. So, okay, let's see. They're actually feeling pretty firm. I mean, they're kind of like bad looking, not like what you'd buy at the store, you know, when you get them fresh, but little spider on that one. But I mean, not bad to be stuck in a little pot on the porch with no water all summer. Look at this one. So anyway, let's just get these. We'll just pop them in the ground and see what they do. You know, if they don't do anything, we haven't lost anything. So, oh, that's got some gnarly roots on it still. So yeah, we'll just pop these in the ground, kind of put them in clusters of 5. And maybe we'll just kind of start like right around here. And we'll just see how many we have. So I'm working on this hole right here. One of the things I'm running into is this. This is where originally when this house was put in and they did the yard, they put in sod. And so this is what the mesh that they grew the centipede on. And I absolutely hate this stuff. It never breaks down in your soil. It constantly is there. I don't even think they should be allowed to do this. We had a sod farm and we grew Bermuda sod, and the roots are different than centipede, so we didn't have to grow it on this mesh. But I still think they need to have something that would break down eventually over time, because this is so aggravating. But anyway, so I'm running into a huge pine tree root over here. Y'all, this is a big one. And then I've got some small little roots that I'm just cutting with my Felcos. But you can see our dirt is very nice and soft and sandy. Doesn't probably have very many nutrients in it. But anyway, so I've about got this one out, and then I'm going to put the bulbs kind of like in a circle, so they'll be like a little bouquet when they come up. So I'm thinking about like there, and then maybe like kind of circle them around. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 if they all take. Maybe put this one here. So when they come up, it'll be like a little bouquet of daffodils. So let me take these out real quick, and then I'm going to put some of the Biotone. I don't have any bulb tone. They didn't have any when I was at the store the other day. So I'll just put some of the Biotone in here. And then I'll just kind of set the little bulbs back in here. It's kind of tight, but they can kind of naturalize around. And then we'll just put our soil back on top of them. Cover them up with pine straw. And then we'll just wait for the spring. So all the bulbs are planted. So I have one little section here, 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 and here. So this will be our document, so we can remember where I put them in, because once I cover them up with pine straw, we're not going to be able to see anything until the spring. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's what we got. Yep, we have 5 sections. So that's going to be really pretty if they come up. I'm going to put a little bit of water on them, and they'll get a little residual water when I'm watering our little hollies and stuff here. But we'll just tuck them in for the winter, so I'm very excited. So that's going to do it for today. So we got those Cleomi in the ground, which I'm really excited about seeing what they're going to look like next year. And then also those daffodil bulbs that I was a bad bulb mom with, but I'm excited to see them as well. I hope they do come up, because that is going to be really pretty to just have that pretty pop of yellow and orange and white here in the woods in the spring. So I hope this gives you a little inspiration for you. If you've got those plants that you need to go ahead and get in the ground, fall is a perfect time to do that, and go ahead and get you some bulbs. So the bulbs are such a treat. They're not fun to plant, but in the spring when they come up, they're just like this little exciting present just waiting for you. So I hope you enjoy this video, and I hope you have a chance to get in your gardens today. Bye, friends.